I apologize. Okay? Yes, sir. You can't tell me that you don't know nobody
Right, good.
that has at one point smoked marijuana, did medicinal marijuana for leisure purposes, you know, for their wellness, just to clear their mind. At one point, or you may have been around somebody that smokes marijuana, but it's too many people that's locked up for getting. That makes no sense. And we need to educate ourselves on what are the attributes of utilizing marijuana, medicinal marijuana, going business into. There are more politicians that's jumping on the bandwagon in regards to legislation for medicinal marijuana. Okay, wait a minute. My guest, she calling me now. How she gonna call me? Is she about to jump on this journey? It's like, don't call me.
It's a guess.
That's all right. That's all right. Here, I'm gonna come back on. Wait a minute. I know she can see me. I know she can see me. Here I is. All right. So boom. My bad, guys. The guest was giving me a call, but she'll be on here. And the guest that I'm talking about is Crystal. Crystal, I had to hang up because we on live. We back. We good. We're popping. I know it kicked me off, but it's all good. I'm back on this joint. We still decent. I'm going to bring you in a second. I do want to spit a couple of resources real quick, and then we're going to talk about a legend, a living one at that. Crystal, sis, Pisces, woman, legend, queen, powerful. You heard me? Let me tell you something. Crystal's one of those people, just like my buddy T. I see you, Yizzo. What's up, homie? Happy belated. You heard me? Legend. Powerful people that's on this joint. Kiki, I see you. What's up? You heard me? Because I'm talking about people that they still got power because you're a generator. You're a generator. And Crystal is a generator. She's a generator of movement. She's a generator of peace. She's a generator of creativity. I see you, T. I see you, Key. But this one that I'm bringing on, stay on this joint. Because I swear to God, man, she even won an award for being a generator. You feel me? Facebook, YouTube. This woman won an award documenting her life. Having a van service called Bridging the Gap Transportation, where she transported sisters and brothers to the prisons. Especially sisters, to see their family members. Yeah, and her folks was locked up. You dig me? So yeah, Free My Weed Man is a different kind of a slogan, ain't it? Because it speaks volumes, and she's going to talk about those volumes, and I'm going to help platform that. You feel me? Because there's decent people out here. You feel me? The people that are watching me, the people that support me, thank you. Through my trial, because I am one of those. I am one of those that's been locked up. So what I said was, let me free myself with my voice. And Crystal did the same thing. No matter how many of her family members was locked up, she freed them through her voice and through her movement. And I need you to be decent individuals and tap in. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, I so appreciate you. Because this Saturday, she formed a movement with other organizations that she'll give homage to, right? That I think we all need to start connecting to, because the Poppy stores let me put the flyers up. And it was nice of them because the same folks that got people incarcerated or they've been locked up themselves, now they can see, let me clear my record. Let's try to get your credit clear, right? And you got to meet them where they at. You know what I'm saying? We got to meet them in the Poppy stores on the way there. Yo, you know how many sisters every day? I really be like, okay. Ever since I went through my struggle, there was nobody I could miss. Okay? There was no one I could miss to not help them get out of their struggle. Because I knew what it was like. I finally knew what it was like. And I thank God for that. You hear what I'm saying to you? This is real. This is the platform for the people. This isn't me. This is God. This is the decent way to live, is use your voice. Use your voice. And Crystal Bush did just that. She's a social worker, she's a social worker that used her voice creating something called bridging the gap. She found a way to bridge the gap between transportation issues and people that couldn't get where they needed to be to see their folks. And we need to bridge the gap, because the gap is not knowing. The gap is not knowing. So we gonna get to know, and that's that. So I'm gonna bring her in because I appreciate her for waiting, but I had to just let y'all know what it is. You feel what I'm saying? Because this is a powerful person. This is a decent individual. What is this ringing? It sounds like a fax machine. It just made my phone seem like it's from the 80s.
That's a new thing.
What is that?
That's a new thing.
Like, yeah, I mean, Crystal.
You over here got me about to cry.
Listen. You know, when you watch Woman on the Outside, that'll make anybody cry. You feel me? Like, it's too effective because of the fact that my cousin Rodney Hargrove was murdered outside of the prison on State Road. You hear me? So, 2 months from around this time. And that could have been a family member I could have been visiting, or at least, did more in regards to bail funds or just whatever, getting the word out is so important. So, somebody like yourself is just an honor to have on my show. I am so blessed to know you. You are just a living legend. You are an icon to me. I look up to you. You know what I'm saying? You're younger than me, and I'm younger than you. Let me put my glasses on. I want to be butched out now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? What's up, everybody? I appreciate y'all. Hop on this joint. Let me do this back again, because this Crystal favorite song. Y'all know Crystal get high now, y'all. Come on. Free my weed man. Free my weed man. Put it in the comments. I'm shutting up, Crystal. It's all you. Speak your piece to this joint. Do it. Pisces on this joint, y'all. We wave makers. You can't be a Pisces and not wave mate. You give this lady some love. She done went to Africa, came back, did an opening for the movie and the screaming. Then she probably sold hot dogs at that joint. Then she went outside, did a free My Weed Man protest, showed up at a cannabis fair. Then from the cannabis fair, got an award delivered in the mail. Took care of her son along the way. Gave somebody a ride. Met up with me at the laundromat. Gave me some flyers for the Free My Weed Man event. Planned the event. Then did a puff and pose joint for the wellness sisters. Like, you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it well. So keep getting high. Wow.
Like you were saying earlier, many of us have been struggling with like this silent battle of grief.
Right.
Losing family members to the prison system. Also, just losing family members to gun violence.
Right.
So when we think about where we are, as a community, and, some people are like celebrating like how the rates of gun violence has went down. Many of us have been suffering this for decades.
Yes.
So like you mentioned earlier, I have dedicated like my career, honestly, to really just figuring out like how did we get here.
Right.
So from even just going to college, majoring in criminal justice, coming out, becoming a social worker, and even just organizing and having in this prison van service, I really realized like it took for me to have to go back to school for my master's, for me just to research like how did all of the men in my family end up in prison and I end up in college, and it was really this war on drugs.
Right.
War on drugs was intentionally like created Black and brown people to prison.
Let's talk about it.
Many of us are doing the work. We're doing this gun violence work. We need to understand, how did we even get here in the first place?
Right.
And if it wasn't for this war on drugs that was created to
Right.
send Black and brown people to prison, we suffered over 5 decades of just, parents being sent to prison, children being put in foster care. So just all the different roles that I had, I really just realized like we got to really be more intentional, and we got to start figuring out who were those victims of the war on drugs.
Right.
Within any war, people die.
Right.
And that's what we're seeing with this whole gun violence, this rate of gun violence. Is because, you know, I have a constituent right now. He's currently locked up at FCI Fort Dix. But when we look at the leaders of these gangs and we're asking where are the parents, I know where the parents are because I was inside of the prisons.
Right.
You know, the parents are in prison. And how are we not fighting for those people to come home to actually be a parent to their children?
What can I?
The leaders of these gangs,
yes,
parents are in prison because I had a prison van service.
Right.
So I know the men are serving time, but when are we going to release them? When are we going to look at some of these outdated laws, some of these like drug laws, and say, like, granted, you're locked up for this violent charge, but if it wasn't for cannabis or marijuana being illegal, the police officers wouldn't have never had the right to search your vehicle. Like, you wouldn't have never suffered the collateral consequences of like just years of just having a drug charge back in the early 90s and 2000s. So we really must like start looking at a lot of our earlier charges and seeing like who really are the victims of this war on drugs.
So, can I just jump? Number one, I agree, and I see comments. Anti-Moore, I see you, brother. What's up, Tommy 04? I appreciate you. Tommy stated it was during the Reagan administration and Clinton pushed it forward. Anton pulled through with we have to learn to make better decisions as well. I agree with both of you. What I'll say is this, is that we grew up in that Reagan part. I'm 81, baby, 43 years old. You know what I mean? And I do remember when the music in the schools were taken out. You know, when hip hop grew, you know, and they started seeing it can turn into a culture. That's when, let's cut the music funding, because I was a musical child. I played percussion. So, and what I say piggybacking is it's strange how America puppeteers folks in agendas, where we're going to take the music out, but we're going to make capital on black folks and hip hop music. We're going to call it gangster rap, but we're going to still push forward with capitalizing off of what gangster rap money can create through clothing, okay, and all kinds of other avenues. But let's go into incarceration. Incarceration, there's not real rehabilitation. There's more incarceration. You know, and then your laws outdated. Commonwealth, come on, that's old colonial shit. And nobody is going back, because I do want to reevaluate constitutions, Declaration of Independences, and things like that, because there is old jargon, there is old laws, and things can be outdated. But we do need to link up with the pockets of the community, that those that are in the community, like an Anti-Moore, I see you, and Tommy, that have a lot of expertise and knowledge. And we have to support one another agendas, and we have to have more resources and jump on and make the revolution televised.
People who have the trust of the community, you know, like, I think it must start with us first admitting, like, look, you may be in this situation right now because your parents were incarcerated, or, you know, whatever the situation is. Like, it's many children that's going through it. Like, even me, for instance, I adopted my nephew, but it's many children that's like my nephew, that's raised by aunts or grandparents just because, you know, their parents served some sort of prison time. You know, so I think, I don't know. I look at the cannabis industry as Pennsylvania is like moving forward for adult use. And I had conversation with many people, and a lot of people are still scared to have that conversation. A lot of people are even just still scared to like really do the work. But this is a new industry where it's going to have taxes pulled, and this industry can actually fund a lot of the program, and this industry can be used for us to provide some sort of reparations for those people who've been impacted. If we're not on the front lines advocating for the tax dollars that come back into the communities that was directly harmed, that's who's going to get that money. Law enforcement. You know, I just went to Harrisburg and I sat in some meetings, and you got the executive director of the Liquor Control Board. They want to control, you know, cannabis. Like, how are we looking to get some sort of equity out of this whole new industry.
I see it.
I see it. Help the victims,
Right.
help the victims of this war on drugs.
I got you. So basically, we got politicians and organizations trying to take the dollars and cents from what the people are going that buy. So the people buy in, your family members stay in, and they get to keep all the money. Is that what it looks like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you got these larger companies, you got, the alcohol, you got the tobacco companies, you got the liquor companies, all of them, they're looking to come into this industry and take full control when it was our people who was getting arrested. Sorry, I got a call. It was our people who was
no problem.
Getting like our communities was getting disrupted by this.
She just popular, y'all. She famous.
Yeah, but yeah. So. Well,
let's go back now. Let's talk about some facts, and this is off the CDC website, y'all. I don't have time to play games. Okay, I went to school and I did my little work cited. CDC.gov. Marijuana is the most commonly used federally illegal drug. And you hear it? Don't it sound like an oxymoron? Marijuana is the most commonly used federally illegal drug in the United States. 48.2 million people, or about 18% of Americans, used it at least once in 2019. Recent research estimated that approximately 3 in 10 people who use marijuana have marijuana use disorder. But there's dispensaries all over the place.
So we gotta take it a step back.
Okay.
When did marijuana become illegal?
Why is it put as a Schedule 1 drug? Before then, marijuana was considered a herb. So why was it considered a Schedule 1 drug in the first place? So yes, the term says that it's illegal, but who made it a Schedule 1 drug?
But
how is this in the same category as meth? Like, how is this in the same category as all these other drugs? It was intentionally made a Schedule 1 drug because hippies and Black people were seen using this more. So let's arrest them. Let's arrest their leaders. Let's disrupt their families. Let's
the heart being put up.
So let's make this illegal. Let's send their leaders and their families to prison, and let's really just vilify them. Like, why was it made illegal in the first place? But then during the pandemic, it's considered something essential. So. And over years, you got the Just No campaign, Just Say No campaign. You got years of them just feeding us all this BS of cannabis is bad, cannabis is bad, cannabis is bad, and then out of nowhere they see it as an opportunity to make money off of. Oh, so we're gonna make
it legal?
It's a catch-22 always, Crystal. I mean, number one, it makes no sense on the CDC.gov website. I'm just reading that it is the most commonly used federally illegal drug, but I just went to the opening of a dispensary in Atlantic City. So which one is it? Are we not in America anymore? Is Atlantic City not in America anymore? But no, then now you're saying it's state by state. Well, which one is it? Because this is .gov. Like, and I just need somebody to clear this up for me. And again, June 11th, are you going up to Capitol? Are you going up there and you're gonna
Yes.
Okay, talk about that. I want to hear more.
June 11th, I am organizing, Fremont Women, we're organizing a rally which is happening in Harrisburg.
And it's the Joints for Justice rally. So anybody who chooses to get on this bus, we're going to be giving you a joint, whether you smoke or not. You can give it to somebody else, but this is the Joints for Justice. So everybody who come out will
receive a joint.
Oh, shit.
And just show up.
Right.
And we're not even just looking for people who consume. We're looking for people like if you lost a family member to gun violence, if any of your family members was incarcerated, like, we got to really look at cannabis justice as being a unified issue. It's not, I don't smoke weed, so I can't support it. If you are fighting for gun violence, guess what? That's a cannabis justice issue.
Right.
If you're fighting for maternal health, that's a cannabis justice issue. Like, whatever it is that you are fighting for is a cannabis justice issue, because with this new industry, guess what, y'all? Like, cannabis is medicine, but it's also is an industry where it's a new tax.
Yes.
Yes. Millions of dollars. So with this tax, where's that tax?
We're not just talking millions, billions. Are you kidding me? The green is green. It ain't nothing more than that. You feel what I'm saying too? Listen, it's popping up all over the place. But again, I'm looking on the CDC.gov website, y'all, and it's telling me it's illegal. How is it illegal? But then but you can get monetary and you can have dispensaries and all that. And then you say it's state for the state. That's just like in God we trust on a dollar bill. That don't make sense to me. Never did.
Like people was hitting me up and was like, "Oh my God, like our government is rescheduling." And then, like when you start looking at the small fine print of the whole rescheduling, like people are still going to serve time. They're not getting people out of prison from that. And even
Absolutely.
with them rescheduling, what does that do for the people who were directly harmed? Nothing. That's just allowing for big pharma to come in and really just open up shop.
Right.
It don't give Black and brown people or communities that were directly impacted any type of reparations.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is reparations is incarceration. That's. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. That's the reparation right there. You want to know why? Because this is the crazy shit. This is the crazy shit. They incarcerate you. And then you go through trials and you're paying for lawyers or you're putting up bills, whatever. Then you come out like myself, right? And then you got to pay certain fees to the court. And then you find out that if your health insurance gets cut off, they call you up and tell you that, oh yeah, your court order session therapy says now $125. Wait a minute, why? Because your health insurance pays for the court-ordered sessions. Wait a minute, y'all locked me up. I didn't lock me up. You get what I'm saying? So either way, one way or another, and Crystal is absolutely right. This marijuana movement, it's only a pawn. It's a pawn. It's puppeteering. It's the government playing games to get more and more people enslaved. Jail is enslavement. Jail is the plantation. You hear what I'm saying to you? How many different ways? Let me tell you something. If I get caught myself, I've been locked up 3 times, y'all. And if I get caught again, $500,000 to $1 million bill. No BS, y'all. And they even said some people that been locked up only once is getting that 500 racks to $1 million. Do 10% of that. Do you got it? Not saying you don't, but I'm just saying not many do.
A woman on the outside, when we look at incarceration, it's the women that is paying for incarceration.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I ran a prison van service for almost 10 years. It was majority women that rode that van service. But when we think about the cost and who is paying the lawyer fees, when we think about who is paying for commissary, when we think about who is paying for the phone bill, it's the women. When we think about who is taking care of the children, it's the women. So yes, they're locking up our men. And even now, women are even being sent to prison at a more alarming rate than men. And it's like, who is taking care of these children? It's really the women that's paying a cost of mass incarceration. It's the women that's paying a cost of reentry. Because when a person is sent home, who's buying the clothes? Who's setting them up? Who's teaching them how to drive? Who's teaching them how to get their birth certificate? Who's teaching them how to even just do the basic needs? It's the women that's really paying a cost. So that's what we're seeing with what's happening in our community. It's the women that's being broken down, because for decades we was paying a cost of mass incarceration. Who owns the phones? Who owns the commissary? Like who owns the clothes? Meanwhile, they're in the inside making things for these Fortune 500 companies who's making millions of dollars. So yes, this is modern day slavery, but we have to get back to, how did we get here? It was a war on drugs that intentionally sent Black and brown people to prison. Black people are 4 to 6 to 7, 8 times more likely than white people to be sent to prison at the same rate of a white person is using it at the same rate, but they're not sent to prison. So it's like, make it make sense.
Make it make sense. There's a lot of people that have stuff to say in the comments. I appreciate people coming on. Tommy speaking. That's the setup to keep you going back in like a revolving door. Thank you to the different people that hopping on again. This is the Decent Grand Rising show, and Grand Rising mean wake up, y'all. And we have a woke system.
I've been a lot of people, I've been advocating for cannabis for over 6 years now. And when I say I'm at a point where I'm tired of convincing people that I don't care if you don't smoke. This ain't even about you smoking. I don't care if you don't like the smell of it. None of that. Mm-hmm. This is an opportunity for us to give to our people.
Come on.
Whether they want to get into the industry, but we got to really be on the front lines, and we got to understand that with this industry, it can provide so many economic opportunities for our people.
Yes.
But if we're not advocating for it, then we're going to get scratched.
Yep. Right? Because there's going to be, there's many people that are white. And I even talked to a woman who is older than both of us, right? She's in her late 50s. And we were riding down to go to this farm in Maryland. And she actually disclosed to me that she, had her hands in the marijuana. She had had her hands in the marijuana dispensary industry in Maryland. Her nephew had his hands in it, had one of the very first, right? But how is it that before it even got even big and legalized and all that, were they able to do so? But let it be us. They'll find a way to try to shut it down, like they always do. So first, and I see the comments, I appreciate y'all hopping on. I would like to show, I'm glad you did bring up your van service and the women, because I actually have a clip from your film, award-winning film, okay, A Woman on the Outside.
It's premiered on PBS, y'all.
Yes.
So Women on the Outside. Currently, y'all can go and watch it on YouTube.
Come on.
It's been acquired by PBS.
Yeah.
So y'all can watch it for free.
I'm proud of you.
Please check out YouTube, A Woman on the Outside.
Yes.
So I can hear y'all feedback. But it really is about the work that I've done with Bridging the Gap, which was a prison van service. We reunited over 3,500 families.
Woo! Come on, y'all. Put them claps up, the hearts up.
Stop work to start doing work in the cannabis industry.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, go watch it.
All right, now I'm gonna show y'all a little piece of this, cause y'all, I think y'all, it's just, every time I had to watch it again, before I came on, and I think that's what choked me up, man. So, just dig into a little piece of this and what she talking about. She a real one, y'all. Very great movie, Yolanda said. I appreciate you.
That's my boo.
All right, Yolanda said, very great movie. Here we go. Boom, boom, bam. I got you. Woman on the Outside.
People in Crystal Bush's family were or are in prison.
Systems that are in place that disrupt the Black family.
Now, she fights to break the cycle for herself and for others.
The prisons are so far, hours. I started the van service to keep families connected. It's sort of like therapy for me.
A Woman on the Outside, on America Reframed.
Y'all, I'm gonna still show a little bit more, y'all. Just let this hit home for a second. This sister's a legend. She been doing this for a long time. Been pushing the agenda.
Hey, y'all. You got the baby birth certificate and social security card? All right, y'all got your IDs, no wire, your Hey, I sent your information to the driver. She should be picking you up. You were a little behind schedule.
I'm looking up to be taking this trip all the time. And it's just and I'm trying to see if they can, move them a little closer.
Welcome to today's episode of the Real Resilience Prison Wife Life Podcast. Now, I am sitting here with a special guest. She's not necessarily a prison wife, but man, does she know the business of prison wife life. Her name is Crystal. Why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
I'm a social worker here in Philly, and I am the owner of Bridging the Gap Transportation, which is a prison van service. Lord have mercy.
What made you start a van service?
Most of the men in my family were incarcerated. So my dad was incarcerated since I was 3 years old. Miss Brenda, did my mom get you? I think you her last pickup. Hey, Miss. Yo, it's cute. My brother was sentenced to 10 to 20. Jabal my oldest brother, just in and out of prison, cousins, serving life. The prisons are so far, hours away from Philly. I started the van service to keep families connected.
There we go. Y'all just want.
So it really is a revolving door, and we're in this time where we're doing the work. We are, and I'm so proud of the work that's just being done in our community, but I feel like we can strengthen the work that we can do, and we could be more powerful if we do come together and we can support each other initiatives, and we need to really just start asking ourselves, really just how did we get here? That's really what it is.
Right.
Whatever issue it is that our organizations are fighting for, how did we get here? And how can we, instead of building our businesses up, how can we build across where we strengthen that foundation? Because we are up against a system that was designed to really break us. And to be honest, I'm gonna give it 1 or 2 more years. If we don't do what we do in PA, I lose hope. I lose hope for whatever can happen. And we got to really hop on board now. We can't wait for it to be legal for us to start being vocal about, what happened to us.
So, but, and what I went through, being locked up and going through my situation, that's what meant a lot to me to push hard for people to vote. Because of the fact that I wanted to learn what I hated. This was the system and politics, and I just wanted to learn it. And now I'm heavily thinking about running for office, and it's because of the fact that I smoke. It's because of the fact that I'm real. I am me. I am black. I am gay. I am everyone. I've been and slept in my car, and I'm tired of folks hiding real identities, and I'm tired of seeing folks getting millions off of blood being shed by the system that's capitalizing off of us. I also want to better present the laws and change them, okay? And I can only do that through the experiences I've experienced and joining you and your movement. And then we take your movement and we televise the revolution this way. And we have conversation. But the great thing about you is that it is more than a free my way. But, oh, that's dope. That's decent. Oh, she giving away free medicinal cards. Because it's crazy that when I've been promoting this, people are hype about the free medicinal cards besides clearing their record. See, I need y'all to be free all the way around with your credit, with your record. I need you to be free as far as knowing politics and the laws. And then how do we capitalize and keep the money to ourselves? And you are doing that, and you guys have to stop looking at it as a dope slogan and a free medicinal card. I need to call that out.
Yeah. But the good thing on Saturday at the expungement, we are giving away free medical marijuana cards. Well, let me take that back, because we're not giving away. Especially in Pennsylvania, in order to get a medical marijuana card, you have to have one of the qualifying conditions. One of the common qualifying conditions is PTSD and anxiety. And we're going to have a doctor that's going to be on site. And we have a sponsor, which is Minorities for Medical Marijuana. They're sponsoring and paying for people to get their card. So if you have one of the qualifying conditions, if you suffer from PTSD or anxiety, pull up. So even if you don't need to get your record expunged, definitely come and get your medical marijuana card, so you can start going into the dispensaries and really sourcing your weed responsibly from some of the dispensaries. I support buying from the legacy market, and when I say legacy, that's our weed men. But and I also, especially in this time, there's a lot of people who really don't know what it is that they're smoking. And if you want to really just start diving into the different ways on how you can consume, maybe it's not smoking weed, maybe it's a tincture with oil or something underneath your tongue. I would advise you to go inside of the dispensaries to know about all of those different options. And it was until I became a patient. Once I became a patient, that's when I really realized, whoa, this is a total different world, So I do recommend people to get their medical marijuana card. And it's also good too. If you get pulled over and you got weed, hey, I'm a patient,
Yeah.
The question that I get often is, "Hey, I can't have my medical marijuana card and my license to carry." Um, I'll let you guys know both systems don't run hand in hand. One is through the city of Philadelphia, and one is through the
Educate them.
and I want to, not that I want to see, but how can the Department of Health release my medical information to, like, ain't that violating HIPAA if they release like if you're providing information on what kind of medicine?
Come on, Chris. Right. But wait a minute, Chris. Pause. Again, you gotta see what I push with the ACLU, which is the American Civil Liberties Union, which you need to get to know. There's chapters in every state, and a lot of celebrities put their hands in the ACLU. I'm one of the ambassadors of ACLU. Do you understand something, that civil liberties learn that, and the HIPAA learn that, and once you start learning these laws, then they can't tell you can't have a license to carry and a medicinal card. Know your rights and vote the right people in to push those laws. Come on, y'all. Come on.
I personally have both. The question that's on the license to carry is, do you consume like illegal drugs or something like that? And if I'm a patient, this is not illegal. Right. So that is something, that's a question that I always get. But I'm all for, really knowing what it is that you're smoking. Right. And yeah, so.
Well, this Saturday, and I'm one of the sponsors that's added to this. I wanted you to shout out all the sponsors that's involved in the expungement event started by Free My Weed Man. And who else is on the event as well?
So I'm partnering with Blaze Responsibility as a law firm in Jersey. Ascend for Social Equity. Ascend is a dispensary, so partner with them as well. Partnering with DACO. DACO does a lot of cannabis work here in PA. The owner of DACO, she started Black Cannabis Week, which happens every September. And I give credit to the reason why I'm in the cannabis industry. The reason why I'm in the cannabis industry is because I attended that conference one year, and I learned of all of the possible ways and how I could enter into this space. So I really definitely stay tapped in. But that happens every September. Who else? We got y'all. You are our media partner. Thank you so much for just, helping me push this, because this work is not easy. And, thank you for just seeing me like this. I see you, how can I help?
Passing out flyers wherever
you see me? Y'all, they're joined at a poppy store near you, somewhere. I promise you, I'm not done yet. The week ain't done yet. And the work ain't done yet. Y'all doing the work. Everybody that hopped on here, thank you. From Crystal's followers of mine to any new followers, y'all decent. And I love you. And we appreciate you. Listen, these is fish out of water. One Pisces to another. We some fish out of water, y'all. And we going to keep being out of water for you, for the public, for the people. Because it could be you. My little brother came to my house beat by the police. You hear what I'm saying to you? My neighborhood little brother, he got beat by the police, came to my house after he was beat. His feet were like this. Because he came out of a girl's house. That's all he did, was come out of a girl's house. And they said it was mistaken identity. And it happened to be a lesbian, a dominant lesbian female that led this charge. A black lesbian cop with a bunch of white police officers. They thought he was a drug dealer. Whether it was weed, whatever. You understand? This is why. And he was beat and let go. So whether they're put in jail or whatever, we're still needing what? Freedom papers. Freedom papers. You get where I'm coming from? And then they're going to put you in jail, but then capitalize off of the weed and all of that. It makes no sense. Why is it legal in New Jersey? Answer this. If it's so illegal by the CDC.gov that I read earlier, go run it back if you're just hopping on, because we throw real facts out here. But listen, so if it's illegal, why is it in New Jersey that it's legal, but we still got people that was locked up before it became legal? Why you ain't letting them out?
Let them out. Let them out.
Crystal, you had a town hall. Didn't y'all have a town hall? Fremont, we man be doing so many different initiatives, y'all. And she does it in so many different dope ways. Puff and pose, wellness, boom. You know what I mean? Clear your mind, free your mind, but also learn something while you there. You feel me? Then we gonna march up on June 11th, because I'm gonna be on the mic, you already know, up there, and we gonna do what we need to do to push this. You get what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying. On that town hall, she does town halls too. I was on that joint, right? And on the town hall, she had a brother that was locked in, and he came on there while he was in jail, yo. Yo, they be getting on there, so they fighting from the inside too, y'all. They fighting from the inside. Go ahead, Crystal, speak in peace. It's all about you.
Our last town hall, we had someone, he joined, he was currently incarcerated.
Right.
And he just followed the movement and, just telling his story, how, he's locked up for getting this and he wants to get out. So, yeah, it's real. And it's up to us to fight. It's up to us to
really, be on the front lines. Like I told y'all earlier, this has nothing to do if you smoke weed. I don't care if you don't like the smell of weed. We need to look at the facts. The facts is the facts. It was a war that was created that sent us to prison, and it's time for them to run us our money. Like, run us our money for them.
Run us the money.
Run us our money for them placing our kids in foster care. I was a social worker. Dee was a social worker. I remember, we was instructed to go to the hospital to remove children from the hospital if mom tested positive to cannabis. It's laws, it's organizations that are still in place, that are still being trained to this day, to really disrupt the family, whether that's the foster care system, probation or parole, whether that's PHA. I just was talking to somebody that worked for PHA, and he said, oh, I can't get my medical marijuana card because I work for PHA. Matter of fact, we need PHA on the front line too.
Right.
Because PHA is not allowing people to consume marijuana in their house. If they can't smoke outside and they can't smoke in their house, where can they consume their medicine?
Come on.
So
listen,
a lot of these things are so outdated, but yet, we're still being affected. We're still being locked up for this,
Well, and I also will piggyback. I definitely, so we always do social work no matter what. But when we were doing our case management services, I piggyback off of that. I remember one time I had to go in the home, do a home and safety check of a family member, and I did my job thoroughly. I knew about doing housing inspections and all that, right? And then all of a sudden, in the one bedroom, I opened up the door, I smelled it. If y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't grandma's old diaper. You feel what I'm saying? And my God, that day I just twitched. I was like this. No, but then how did that look? Me go ahead, call DHS worker, had them come out, do all investigation, and 9 times out of 10 they gonna get rid of the smell that fast, like if I do bring it up. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it was like, I thought about it as their case manager. I was not the DHS worker. I was their middleman. And the house was clean. Mom probably just got home from work and lit a damn joint in her own home. And there was no issues that I visibly saw.
Our friend Shantae, she's now my friend, but she was
my worker.
Right.
So our friend
Shantae, she was one of my workers.
Yep.
And whenever she would come, I would have to spray the house down.
Right.
That's still my friend.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she's still being dated. So let me spray this house down.
Right.
So let's get rid of the smell, because as I'm going through the adoption process for my nephew, I'm still I'm a worker. But I'm still fearful that they're going to take my child. So here it is. I'm about to lose my job. And I get reported that my house smelled like weed. I lost my job. Then I lost my nephew. So for so long, I consumed. And many of us, it's so many people. Y'all be so surprised how many people consume without just telling nobody.
How many people come to my events without, can't tell nobody, or I can't be on camera because of my job. Why are they programmed us to be
right.
This is our medicine, why do we have to keep this on us?
One thing I will say this: the jobs that I have recently had in the past 4 years have been advocates. And I appreciate that, because how can we work in health advocacy lanes, right? and a part of health advocacy now. Because see, what I teach in the laundromat is not just helping somebody with their Medicaid, their food stamps, and all of that. Is making sure. Oh, the module.
I had to really come to the laundromat.
Yeah.
See the best of like I love direct outreach. Like
Right.
even when I was doing flyering for the expungement, let me go outside of the halfway houses. Like,
yeah, come on.
But how do we be intentional about the work that we're doing as opposed to just saying that this is what we're doing?
Right.
So,
But Crystal,
the fact that your office is inside of the library and y'all are meeting people where they are, helping them with their benefits. Somebody like me that get food stamps,
right.
I don't like to go to the office. So I would love to come wash my clothes and you renew my benefits.
Yeah.
I think that is so dope.
Fabric Health is
decent. See you for me to see how dope that is.
Yeah, and I love that Crystal stopped through. Thank you. You know, she joined with Fabric Health. A lot of other folks joined. You know, I got family members. I'm a part of Fabric Health too. You know, we got the co-workers. Listen, Fabric Health is always here to help. If you got the anxiety of going to the welfare office, you tired of calling them, they losing your paperwork, you're tired of going back and forth, come holler at me. The new welfare. You know what I mean? It's a different module, y'all. You could go in the laundromat, wash your clothes, and then come sit at a regular table with me. I got my laptop, and I'm going to assist you in doing you've been tired. You got to handle the kids or handle your mental health or deal with the stress of the job or whatever. A person passed away, y'all. So one way or another, we're going to support you and just bridge the gap. Like Crystal did, right? And that's what Fabric Health is doing. So 215-792-3453. You can call us. Even if you met us in the laundromat where you don't even have to meet us, call us. Because we want to make it convenient for you. And because you know how you drag on welfare? Maybe you drag on laundromat. Who cares? Just call. We're here for you. And we're going to be waiting on you. And we work on the weekends. I worked on Mother's Day. Because laundromats are open, 24 hours. Now, Lord knows we ain't open 24 hours. But I do start work 7:30 to 3:30. So if you want to reach the LeBron, because I comes down to court with the food stamps and the Medicaid. Listen, I got somebody food stamps and Medicaid in 1 hour, y'all. No BS. But also, I'm explaining things. And watch this. This ties into Free My Weed Man and the medicinal marijuana movement. Why? Because people like a Crystal and many other professionals and entrepreneurs or whatever are constantly hiding the fact that they have a what? Medical diagnosis. Let's go back to the root of this. This is not about smoking no weed. It's about you have a medical diagnosis. And I have talked to so many people in the laundromat, I had to educate them on themselves. You want to know why? Because it's been lost in translation. Why? Because they didn't want us to know ourselves. And I'm proud of us. All the decent people that's watched this and stayed on or came on and off, whatever, I'm proud of us for wanting to know ourselves. You are on here to want to know more about, wait a minute, medicinal marijuana. Wait a minute, incarceration, clearing my record. How do I do it? How can I pass this off? So again, you may not know yourself. And knowing yourself is checking your paycheck to see how much are they taking out your check for your medical. What is coming with your medical? And you have to understand something. Medical marijuana, yes, that comes with a diagnosis. Yes, it's in the MCOs, which is your medical company plans. Talk to them. And there was a woman I found out even watching Instagram. Shout out to Joanna McClinton. Okay, State Representative Madam McClinton, the head of the Democratic Party of Pennsylvania. She went to a black hair salon in West Philly, and a sister in there educated us on Instagram saying, "Yeah, call your medical insurance company. You can get free wigs."
That's my girlfriend.
What? Put it out there, Crystal.
Yes.
Put it out there.
Oh yes. Listen, Plug got my girlfriend, and she has a hair
salon. On 60 off of 60th and Market, and she is called the Beauty Boutique, but she is actually certified through the insurance to if you have any type of if you're getting chemo or any type of diagnosis with hair loss, your insurance can pay for your wig.
There you go.
This wig right here, and I've been picking at these edges. I just got to go get a prescription for my doctor to say hey, I prescribe for you to get a wig. And even that process, just seeing her go through that process is so tough you know, for us to get approved through like the insurance companies, but she did it. And if you want to like, if you going through like chemo or any type of like hair loss or anything like that, all you got to do is just get a prescription from your doctor. Go see Nadisha at Beauty Boutique on 60th off of 60th and Market,
Right.
and she can give you a wig.
And what's that called? That's called resources, y'all. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Is that the revolution is being televised? Do you see what I'm saying to you? Crystal's trying to let y'all understand something. When you learn the law, you're learning yourself. You're learning your environment. And now you're breaking down. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't know this. I didn't know that. Watch this. I'm going to show you something else. Marijuana is what? A plant, correct? See, that's where we got to start. We got to start with marijuana is a plant. Y'all trying to tell me that a plant is illegal. Something natural, right? And then let me show you something that ties in with hair prescription and things like that. Let me show you something. So I said marijuana is a plant, correct? Food prescription programs. Now, her friend, she just talked about, right? She can get funding as a beautician business owner from a health insurance company. Don't health insurance company, aren't they the biggest money makers in the United States? Am I wrong or right, Crystal? So if by any chance you were a provider under a health insurance company, that means money is coming to you, right? So, and then as many bills and...
Why this man on here talking about I love this?
What's going on? Oh, love you. Oh, you love my smile, is it me? Hey, I'm gay though. Please stop, y'all flirting with me. I'm trying to do a show. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But see, that's what I'm saying. This is the point. We have to know legislation. We have to vote. We have to get the right folks in. We have to be a part of the right movements. We have to pay attention and know ourselves, meaning know your medical. Know what's being taken off your check for your medical. I talk to many people every day and I ask them, how much being taken off your check for your medical? I don't know. I can't even get into ADP. Why? Why you don't know yourself? And again, why didn't you know that you could get food prescriptions? Why is it that marijuana is a plant that you could put in a smoothie? A part of produce. And what do you get with a food prescription? You get produce. But why didn't you know that you could get a prescription for produce? Because they want you to keep having a diagnosis that is now called obesity. And then we start going into more and more things. But they'll make Takis for the munchies. But they won't tell you about Philadelphia like it's in Huntington Park Ave. No, because it's a Huntington and then there's Huntington Park Avenue. So we're going to be at 932 East Huntington Park Avenue from 11 to 2. Come on now. Tell somebody, but please register, y'all, because you need to keep track of them numbers. Because numbers equal votes, numbers equal legislation, numbers equal finances. You feel me? Hold up, here she come back. Yes, sir. We gotta let her wrap it up on her. Come on, Critty. Come on, Crystal. Get on this joint. I need her to wrap this up right. I did. I need her to wrap this up right. I did add her in. Okay, there she is. Great. Crystal, can you hear me? Yes, that's all it was. It's all good, sis. Listen, we won't rap because we was on for, something said y'all was on for like an hour. I think they was mad. I don't care. Let them be mad. They gonna keep being mad. Crystal, wrap it up for us. Let us know anything you want to say. Speak your piece, sis.
Expungement that's happening this Saturday. Y'all can click the link in my bio. Whether you need an expungement or a pardon, if you want to start that process, it will be attorneys there on site. If you are looking to get your medical marijuana card, we are going to have a doctor that's going to be there on site. So if you got PTSD, anxiety, and there's a few, like over 24 qualifying conditions, you can for sure come down for that. We're also just going to have just other resources, reentry resources. Philly Bell Fund is going to be there, veteran resources, an employment resource. So if you're looking to get into the cannabis industry, we do have a dispensary that's going to be there that's going to be providing some employment opportunities. But definitely just come down, be a part of the community. Like Dee was saying, like I have been doing this work, but I cannot do this work alone. So even outside of the expungement, we host town halls. We're organizing a rally that's happening in Harrisburg called Joints for Justice Rally. And that's going to happen in June. We got some stuff that's happening. So definitely just stay connected, stay in community. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. This was like, so informative. It was, it was a vibe.
It was decent. That's all it was.
It was
I appreciate decent. That's all it was. I appreciate you, Crystal. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody that Kiki, I see you. Tommy, I see you. Anti, everybody that hopped on, that was decent, that bear with us, that dropped comments. And to any and everybody whose loved one that was locked up, anybody that lost a loved one due to the system, gun violence, marijuana, crime, somebody just came for you and your people just passed or just was incarcerated, re-entry, folks, just keep your head up. There's resources, y'all. And let me spit one of them too. Salute to Khalil Morrison. He's the Assistant Director of the Office of Reentry Services through the City of Philadelphia. You feel me? I have a partnership, Decent Connections Inc. I made sure that if I was locked up, I had to link up with those that was running with the city. And let's try to free some more folks and make sure the resources out there. I'm referring folks left and right to my fathers that are coming out that need resources. You can get paid to do virtual classes for like an hour. Okay, and you're learning more about yourself as a man, your feelings, helping the kids. Boom, you can get incentives through focus on our fathers. All right, I can refer you also through the City of Philadelphia Reentry. There's a financial literacy class for those that are coming out. Let's get your credit cleaned up. I said it a lot of times throughout the show for a reason. I'm referring folks for financial literacy classes. I'm referring dads for classes so they can get paid and get back to themselves with their kids and themselves as well. And I'm signing up folks for same-day work pay. I'm referring folks for same-day work pay. Yeah, work that day in the community, get paid that day. I'm not here to play no games. The resources is real decent. Yes, sir. Thank you, Crystal. I love you, babe. And free my weed man all day.
Free my weed man.
Yes, sir. Make sure you stay locked this Saturday. I'm coming back on live at the expungement event, y'all. It's definitely going to be decent, all right? I see